up, Taiwan? I'm Reece, bringing you the latest news from Taipei. Taiwan has won another medal at the Olympics in Paris, this time in gymnastics. It brings Team Taiwan's total medal haul to 4, and more could be coming. Leslie Liao is in Paris with the latest.
Another day, another medal for Taiwan at the Olympics. Gymnast Tang Jiahong has won bronze at the gymnastics men's horizontal bar event. This marks the third day in a row that Taiwan has made history at the Paris Olympics. On Saturday, Li Mongyuan won Taiwan's first ever medal in shooting. On Sunday, Li Yang and Wang Qiling became the first ever Olympic men's badminton duo to defend a gold medal. And on Monday, Tang Jiahong became the first ever Taiwanese gymnast to medal in the horizontal bar. Hello. Tang came in joint third place with a score of 13.966, a lower than expected score after he fell from the bar during his routine.
当下掉下来的时候，其实就是觉得很可惜，那就是也想要在这次巴黎奥运留下美好的回忆这样子，所以我上去我就还是补做了一次，然后把后面的整套尽力的发挥完美。
这样的结果，我对嘉宏是非常骄傲，因为各位要知道，如果当下失败，嘉宏就放弃了，那我想不会有今天这一块铜牌。所以这块铜牌，我认为是它的价值高过于金牌。
Out of the 8 competitors in the finals, 6 made errors during their routines. Horizontal bar is a high-stakes event where any flaw in a routine can cost athletes dearly.
你一点点没有控制好，其实它离杠的距离是你没有办法控制，会差非常多。
But despite his fall, Tang still managed to clinch bronze. He admits that Olympic jitters got to him.
觉得有按照原本的技术做，那可能我觉得是奥运会的魔力吧。
And where there are Taiwanese Olympians, there are Taiwanese fans. But Tang's family also showed up to support him.
很感动，很感动，真的很棒，很辛苦，终于结束了。
Tang is one of the best horizontal bar gymnasts in the world. And the Paris Olympics marks the first time he's competing in his specialty at the Games. At the Tokyo Olympics, he finished 7th overall in the gymnastics all-round event. Tang's bronze is a hard-won victory. He's battled through multiple injuries to get here, including a torn Achilles tendon.
我觉得到当时阿基里斯腱断裂走到现在，这本身就是一个奇迹了。
Even though he made it onto the Olympic podium, Tang still believes he can do better, and he's vowed to come back to the Games stronger.
虽然说今天的结果没有想象中那么好，但是我觉得老天爷给予我们团队一个铜牌的肯定。 对，那我觉得就是我会继续努力，就这样。那我觉得真的会对，这个铜牌献给老师，献给团队，这样。对，
还会再战奥运吗？
一定会。
Taiwan's official medal count at the Paris Olympics now sits at 1 gold and 3 bronze. Howard Zhang, Lian Lin, and Leslie Liao in Paris, France for TaiwanPlus.
Some of Taiwan's Olympians have returned home from Paris with huge crowds waiting for them at the airport. Our reporter Sandy Chi was there.
An ecstatic welcome for Taiwan's athletes upon their return home. On Tuesday morning, 8 Taiwanese Olympians arrived back in the country after competing in the Summer Games in Paris. Although none of them won medals, for their fans, they're still Taiwan's pride and joy. Among the athletes is judoka Yang Yongwei. There were high expectations for him as he won silver at the Tokyo Olympics. But he was knocked out by his Japanese opponent, Ryuju Nagayama, in the men's 60-kilogram event.
毕竟自己在比赛的结果，其实自己是没有到满意，但是我也用尽了全力，所以也谢谢大家的持续的支持跟关注。
Despite not making to the finals this time, Yang remains positive and is thinking about his future.
下一步也还没有确定自己要不要转换身份，然后去当就是专心的当教练。希望我能够把 这我一生所学的技术，或者是我体悟到的一些柔道的精神，或是人生的体悟，就是能够交给接下来的后辈们。
Other than Yang, another athlete many people were excited to welcome home is the country's top swimmer, Wang Guanghong. Despite being eliminated in the semifinals, he seems satisfied with his performance.
其实目前来讲，我觉得都也还蛮开心的。然后我觉得自己的成绩，然后对自己的要求会希望可以更好，但是也打破了之前的记录嘛。然后虽然没有达到目标，但是我觉得这都是一个很好的经验跟过程。
Many of the fans at the airport waiting for Wang had posters, pictures for him to sign, and one even prepared a Wang Guanghong doll.
就是韩团的话，粉丝都会做应援做娃娃，但是他就没有人做，所以我就做一只。然后他衣服可以脱，然后也有小屁股。
我要等王刚好，就是从之前冬奥的时候就被他吸引到，就觉得说怎么会有人会游泳，然后他长那么帅，然后身材很好，然后整个爱上。
Some young fans even arrived as early as 6:30 a.m. to show their support.
因为我们3个都非常的喜欢游泳，然后就是在他身上，我们也学到了非常多的东西。
自律的精神，我觉得很重要。
These 8 athletes are just the first group of Olympians to return home, with more expected on Wednesday. Meanwhile, their teammates are still vying for glory in Paris. Luffy Lee and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's stock market has come roaring back a day after plunging a record 8.4%. It's part of a recovery after big drops, not just in Asia, but also in the United States and Europe, due to fears the US could be heading towards recession. Louise Watt is at Taiwan's stock exchange for us. Louise, how's it looking there?
Well, the morning after a record plunge, Taiwan's market opened strongly. It was up 4%. It lost some of these gains quite quickly, but then it's clawed them back and it's just closed up 3.4%. Now, yesterday, Taiwan's market was pulled down by falls in tech stocks, but they've rallied as well today. TSMC, Taiwan's chip-making giant, that finished up 8%, and other tech companies like MediaTek, Quanta, well, they've rallied as well. Now, Taiwan was one of several markets in Asia and across the world that fell yesterday amid fears that the United States could be headed for a recession. And that's one reason. Another reason was disappointing financial results from tech companies, major tech companies like Intel, Alphabet, and Amazon. Now, that's led to investors worrying about the stability of these stocks, and also renewed questions over whether tech companies can make money from artificial intelligence, or AI. Now, Taiwan has a role to play in this because it produces most of the world's most advanced semiconductors, or chips. So the thinking goes that if there's less confidence in AI, perhaps there will be less demand for Taiwanese technology. So the euphoria around AI, the frenzy that's been going on in recent months, well, that looks like it might be subsiding somewhat. And there are concerns that shares in companies that have been investing heavily in AI, like NVIDIA, well, perhaps they're overvalued. But the consensus among most analysts is that this is simply a healthy correction, and it doesn't mean the start of a bear market. So after all, the US economy is still growing. A recession is far from a certainty. So here it's been a better day than yesterday, although traders are still expecting some volatility ahead.
Thanks for that update, Louise. That was Louise Watt live for us at the Taiwan Stock Exchange in Taipei. Taiwan's top court is hearing arguments on whether controversial reforms to Taiwan's legislature are unconstitutional. The reforms triggered widespread protests on the streets and saw lawmakers trade blows inside the legislature. Rick Glowett has more from Taipei.
This year's top political issue, that's sweeping reforms of Taiwan's legislature, giving it more power and more scrutiny over the executive branch, has now reached here, Taiwan's top court, the Constitutional Court. Lawmakers from both the ruling party and the main opposition parties have come here to lay their case in front of the justices. The ruling party, the Democratic Progressive Party, say that new laws that would allow the legislature to bring people in for questioning, that could be companies, it could be individuals, officials, they say that these new laws are undemocratic, they contravene rights, and they're unconstitutional. But the main opposition parties argue that it's about checks and balances on the executive branch. They want to be able to call the president in for questioning inside the chamber. The issue has already laid bare Taiwan's deep political division. It's caused fisticuffs in the legislature and protests on the street. Now, over the next few weeks, this court will hear the arguments from either side and make its decision, with both sides of the political divide saying that Taiwan's future and its democracy hang in the balance. Patrick Chen and Rick Lowett in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A US federal judge has ruled Google has an illegal monopoly on internet searches. The judge wrote that Google maintains its monopoly through exclusive agreements which hurt competition and violate US law. The decision is part of the US Justice Department's antitrust campaign against big tech firms. The ruling could potentially lead to the breakup of Alphabet, Google's parent company. Google says it plans to appeal. Scorching temperatures across the planet have cities looking for ways to beat the heat. A team of scientists in London are testing a mossy solution. Harel Hughes tells us more.
A London rooftop, home to various types of plants, wildflowers, and solar panels. And just below, the world's largest biosolar research project, focused on studying the development of plants and insects in urban environments. But the planet's ever-rising temperatures have researchers looking for new answers, ways to beat the summer heat, through plants and architecture. And they think there is a natural solution: moss.
Mosses on a green roof means that roofs will be highly absorptive, because mosses tend to absorb about 16 times their weight in water in a matter of minutes.
Trees have long been used to absorb heat across cities. Infrared imaging shows just how effective they are. The brighter the shade of white, the warmer that spot is. But moss is a non-flowering plant without roots and can grow easily across large areas. It's known for its extreme adaptability, able to withstand drought and extreme heat while retaining a large amount of moisture, an ideal candidate for green rooftops.
The green roofs, the way they reduce the heat is by providing a lot of moisture, a lot of humidity, and they transpire a lot. So the plants transpire, and this is how they cool the heat that normally they suffocate from. And so they cool their surrounding environment by transpiring.
Scientists hope moss can grow and thrive in urban environments on its own, and have focused research on two perspectives.
One of them is, how do we create the right environmental conditions, the optimal environmental conditions for moss to grow on building elements? And we do that through designing surfaces and designing materials.
The second is to find ways to grow the moss inside before bringing it outside. The research on mossy rooftops is fairly new, but as temperatures are expected to continue soaring, scientists say a biocarpeted rooftop will be the way to keep cities cool moving forward. Chris Mon, Harel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Vegetable prices are surging as farmers clean up after Typhoon Gaemi. Some leafy greens and herbs are up to 300% more expensive than they were before the storm last month. The Taipei city government has opened produce reserves to get prices under control. They should start returning to normal next week if good weather continues. Thanks for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, check out these outfits worn by Celine Dion, Lady Gaga and other artists during Olympic performances on display in Paris. I'm Reece. Take care and we'll see you next time.